They said Oakwood High was cursed, closed overnight in 1990 after 9 students vanished. No bodies, no clues, just silence. But last week, the town hired me to clear it out. Just old desks, they said. Nothing sinister. They were wrong. Classroom 3B, dust choked the air, desks overturned, and on the chalkboard rules, 13 of them, faded red chalk like dried blood. Rule 1st, never stay past 3:07 p.m. Rule 7th, never answer the voice in the locker. They weren't just warnings, they were a confession. Scribbled dates September 12, 1990, the day they disappeared, and names. Sarah Myers, Jake Porter, all 9th graders, all broke the rules. The last entry, we didn't listen. Now it's too late. I laughed at first, kids' pranks. But the air turned icy, the chalkboard. It moved, rules rewritten. New words, Rule 13, never trust the teacher. My flashlight died, and from the hallway scraping, like nails dragging along lockers. I followed the sound to locker 7th, rusted shut, stained with something black, and inside voices, not students, not human. A wet guttural whisper, Mr. Donovan. My name, my full name. The PA system crackled. Detention starts now. I ran. Hallways stretched, doors locked, clock frozen at 3:07. And the rules. They'd changed again. Rule 7th, too late, too late, too late. The voice followed. Play with us, teacher. I slammed into classroom 3B, the chalkboard. It was clean. Now I hear them everywhere. Lockers hum, walls breathe, and the rules keep rewriting themselves. Rule 14th, no escapes. The town thinks I'm crazy, but tonight I'm going back. Because the students weren't the first, and I won't be the last. I dug into Oakwood's past. 1990 wasn't the first time. 1957, Mr. Henry Carter, a math teacher, hanged himself in classroom 3B. His suicide note, they're in the walls, they're in the walls. And his final lesson? The same 13 rules. Rule 7th, never answer the voice in the locker. Further back, 1924, janitor Thomas Riggs' journal, shadows crawl the halls after 3:07 p.m. Too many teeth, too many eyes. They whisper from the lockers. Principal says keep quiet, or join them. His last entry? Rule #13, trust no one. Then, silence. 33 years, 1924, 1957, 1990, all September 12th, all 3:07 p.m., all tonight. The yearbook photos confirmed it. Blurred faces, red locker numbers glowing like wounds. Sarah Myers, 1990, locker 7th. Jake Porter, 1957, locker 7th. Every victim, same locker, same rule. The town archive reeked of decay, dusty boxes labeled "Do Not Open." Inside, Mr. Carter's lesson plans. Rule 1st rewritten, never trust the clock. And a photo of locker 7th in 1924. Black ooze seeping through the vents. Thomas Riggs' shadow, missing. I checked the current locker 7th. Rusted, warped, scratch marks inside. Not from students, claws, and the smell. Burnt sugar and rot. The PA system crackled. Detention's over, Mr. Donovan. Time for recess. Hallways stretched. The clock. 3:07 p.m. The rules changed again. Chalkboard in classroom 3B. Rule 14th. No escapes. My name glowed red under Rule 13. The walls. Breathing. Lockers hummed. And the yearbook photos? The blurred faces. They're clearer now. Smiling. Hungry. 33 years. A teacher. A janitor. 9 students. All sacrificed to keep the curse dormant. But the principal's ledger revealed the truth. No escapes. Only replacements. And my contract? Already signed. Mr. Donovan, tonight the cycle repeats. The clock stuck. The lockers scream. And the rules lie. Because Rule 7th isn't a warning. It's an invitation. And the voice in locker #7? It's saying my name again. Louder. Hungrier. I shouldn't have gone back. But the rules kept changing. On the chalkboard, in my dreams, locker 7 hummed louder each night. Last night I cracked. I stood in that hallway, flashlight trembling. The voice slithered out, Mr. Donovan, let us out. And I answered. Cold air reeked of rot. A hand blackened, too many knuckles shot out. Bones snapped like chalk. It gripped my wrist. Ice seared my veins. The voice gurgled, Rule, never trust the teacher. Behind me, the PA system spat static. Detention is forever. I wrenched free. My arm was rotting. Black veins crawled to my elbow. The locker vomited sludge, thick, oily. Shapes moved inside. Sarah Myers, Jake Porter, their faces melted, their voices harmonized. Join us. Rule #13. I ran. Hallways twisted, doors vanished. The clock laughed. 3:07 p.m. Classroom 3B's chalkboard bled fresh rules. Rule #14, no escapes. My name glowed red. The PA roared. Report to detention. Locker 7's voice purred. We've waited years, teacher. The gym doors were welded shut. The janitor's closet filled with nooses. Dates carved into the wood, 1924, 1957, 1990. A fresh noose hung, labeled 2023. The principal's voice boomed from nowhere. Welcome to the faculty, Mr. Donovan. My rotting arm burned. The sludge hardened into a key. Locker 7 glowed. Rule 7, answer the voice. The students' shadows pressed against the walls. Sign the contract, they hissed. Teach here, or join us. The chalkboard wrote itself, Mr. Donovan. I signed nothing, but my name bled onto the chalkboard anyway. The PA system laughed. The principal whispered, time for recess. And locker, it's open now, always. Voices spill out, Sarah, Jake, Thomas Riggs, all chanting rule. The rules were never for protection, they're a game. And I'm the new pawn. My classroom, locker 7. My students, the shadows. My lesson, survive 33 years. But the rot spreads faster. The voice whispers, detention's over. And the next rule glows, rule #14, no survivors. The rot spread faster after I touched locker 7. Black veins clawed up my arm. The PA system followed me. Detention is mandatory, Mr. Donovan, until I found the trapdoor, beneath the gym, under layers of dust. The room, 13 nooses, 13 names, all teachers, all 33 years apart. Blood stained the desks, dates carved into the wood, 1990, 1957, 1924, and a noose labeled 2023. The chalkboard screamed, Rule 13th, the teacher replaces the sacrificed. My name pulsed red. The principal's voice boomed, welcome to detention. I recognize the names. Henry Carter, 1957, hanged himself here. Thomas Riggs, 1924, missing janitor. Their lesson plans littered the floor. Rule 7th, lure them to the locker. Rule 13th, sign the contract. And photos. Photos of their faces twisted into smiles. Like they'd agreed. The blackboard shifted. Rule 14th, no escapes. My rotting arm burned. The sludge from locker 7th hardened into a pen. The nooses swayed, whispering, 33 years, 33 years. The PA system crackled. Teach the rules, or join the students. I saw the truth. The teachers weren't victims. They were wardens, trapped here to feed the curse. Henry Carter's journal, I chose 9 students to save myself. Thomas Riggs's final entry, better them than me. And now the contract demanded my signature. My hand moved on its own. Black ooze dripped onto the paper. Mr. Donovan, 2023. The noose slithered toward me. The students' shadows pressed against the walls, chanting Rule 13, Rule 13. The principal whispered, time to teach. The rot reached my chest. The rules rewrote themselves. Rule 7th, answer the locker. Rule 13th, trust the teacher. My classroom? This room. My students? The shadows. My lesson? Survive 33 years. But the bell never stops ringing. They found Henry Carter's body in 1957. Thomas Riggs vanished in 1924. And me? I'll disappear tonight. But the contract lies. There's no escape, only replacement. The chalkboard glows. Rule 14th, detention is forever. And locker 7th, it's laughing. The rot reached my heart. Black veins pulsed like roots. The PA system screeched. Report to the principal's office. Hallways warped, lockers bled rust, floors melted into stairs. Door 13th appeared, marked detention eternal. Inside it waited. The principal wasn't human, never was. Its teeth, jagged chalk shards. Eyes, rusted locker doors, pupils like keyholes. The contract glowed on its desk. Mr. Donovan, 2023, inked in blood. It leaned forward, clicking. Sign the rules. Teach 33 years, or join them. Photos lined the walls. Henry Carter, 1957, smiling, noose around his neck. Thomas Riggs, 1924, grinning, shadows clawing his back. Their contracts pulsed. Rule 13th, replace the sacrificed. The entity hissed, choose, teacher or student, warden or prey. Outside, voices chanted, Rule 13, Rule 13. My rotting hand gripped the pen. Ooze dripped onto the paper. The entity's breath reeked of burnt chalk. Liar, I spat. The teachers never survive. Henry Carter hanged. Thomas Riggs vanished. It smiled, too many teeth. They broke Rule 14, you won't. Rule 14 glowed on the wall, no escapes. The contract's fine print slithered, serve 33 years, feed the lockers, replace yourself. The entity's jaw unhinged. Sign or Sarah Myers' voice will never stop screaming in Locker 7. I begged, what happens to the students? The ones sacrificed? The entity's eyes opened, locker doors revealing endless darkness. They become the rules. The contract shifted. Mr. Donovan, 2023-2056. My hand moved. The pen bit. I signed. Blood pooled into 2023. The entity clapped, bones snapping. Welcome to the faculty. My classroom materialized, the detention room. 13 nooses. 13 smirking shadows. The chalkboard wrote itself. Lesson first, lies taste like chalk. The rot stopped. The pain changed. I feel them now. The students in the walls. Sarah, Jake, Thomas. Their voices blend with mine. The contract burns. 33 years starts now. And Locker 7th? It's hungry again. Rule 13, I whisper. Trust the teacher. The contract lied. The rot didn't stop, it spread. Black veins cracked my skin like chalk. The bell screamed non-stop. Hallways stretched into impossible angles. Locker 7 gaped open, vomiting shadows. The principal's voice boomed. Recess is over, Mr. Donovan. Time to feed. I ran to the clock tower. 3:07 p.m., frozen. Students' shadows pressed against the glass. Sarah Myers, Jake Porter. Their faces melted, mouths torn wide. Rule #14 no escapes. The contract burned in my hand. The principal whispered, You signed. You belong here. I tore the contract. Ash rained down. I won't replace you. The shadows lunged. The tower shook. The principal laughed to sound like snapping lockers. Too late, the rules are yours now. The chalkboard in my mind wrote, Lesson #2, lies have consequences. The halls collapsed. Walls bled rust. Locker 7's voice roared, Rule 13, Rule 13. My rotting arm split, black ooze forming keys. Feed them, the principal hissed, or become them. The students' shadows clawed closer. Sarah's voice pleaded, Join us. The truth shattered me. The teachers are the rules. Henry Carter's face pulsed in my mind. Better them than us. My keys slid into lockers 1st to 13th. Each click unleashed a scream. The students' shadows dissolved into new rules on the walls. The clock tower cracked. 3:07 p.m. bled into the floors. The principal's shadow swelled, teeth like locker doors, eyes like nooses. You'll replace me, it rasped, or they'll replace you. The contract regenerated. Mr. Donovan, 2023 eternity. I gripped the keys. The students' screams hardened into rules. Rule 7th, answer the voice. Rule 13th, trust the teacher. Rule 14th, no escapes. The bell. The bell wasn't a warning, it was a dinner bell. And the lockers? They're always hungry. They'll find my empty desk, my lesson plans, my contract, unsigned but binding. The new teacher arrives Monday. Rule first glows, never stay past 3:07 p.m. But the clock's frozen, the lockers hum, and my voice, it whispers from Locker 7th, Rule, trust me. They found my lesson plans, my empty desk, the chalkboard, pristine except for Rule 1, never stay past 3:07 p.m. The clock's still stuck. The lockers hum, and my voice isn't mine anymore. The new teacher arrives Monday. Her name glows on the contract I couldn't burn. S. Carter, 2023. Locker 7 thrums when she passes. The PA system whispers, Rule, trust the teacher. And the walls taste her fear. They repainted the gym, scrubbed the detention room, but the nooses regrew. The contract always regenerates. And the principal? The principal's chair isn't empty anymore. Rule #14 glows in my mind, no escapes. Ms. Carter lingers after the bell, curious, brave, foolish. The clock ticks backward. Locker 7th purrs, answer me. And my voice, our voice whispers, Rule 14.